So, welcome all of you to the 4B Inner Reflections on the Art of Sustaining the Self. So, thank you so much, all of you, for joining. And we have with us the great author, I must say. She was with us, Sister Judy Johnson, all the way from Halifax, Canada. So, I would like to welcome her first with these beautiful flowers. I hope they are being seen properly. Yeah, thank you. And as always, Sister Judy, actually, we know her quite well, but just a few things that she coordinates the activities of the Brahma Kumaris in Halifax, and that is the Atlantic region of Canada. And all of you know that she is a facilitator, and also to add a few things, she's a coaching consultant in experiential learning, which all of us do in our inner reflections, and also in leadership development and organizational effectiveness. And she's an author of 5 books, to mention a few: The Seven Secrets of the Universe, Living as an Art, Return to the Source, that's the God experience, and Beautiful Thoughts. And one of them is also the Arts for Lives, which we are covering with her as a facilitator. So as always, it's a 1 hour session. We'll have the first almost 50 minutes reflecting on that with her facilitating that. And then we have maybe a few minutes for questions. If you have any questions, you can please send it to me. And then we end with a closing meditation. And we have a big thanks to all our translators and the recorders as well. So we have it in all these languages: French, Portuguese, Spanish, Hindi, Telugu, and Turkish. So feel free to listen to the one you are comfortable in. And with this, I pass it on to Sister Judy. Thank you so much once again.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Manoj Bhai. Always lovely to see you and to see the whole team. It's, again, a remarkable and wonderful thing you're doing here. I think it's amazing. So very happy to be with you. I don't know how I get to see all of you. I think I can only see myself right now. So let me see if I can find a way just to see you, which is much more interesting. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody did something. Now I can see all of you. Thank you so much. Took the power of a thought. So, thank you had I know this series, I think we're on month 4 now, right? So we're on art number 4. And I've been listening to them all along the way, and they're wonderful. I'm enjoying them so much. So I hope you are as well. And I listened to Sister Denise, and I loved what she said. And of course, today I'd like to take up some of what she said and get us to go a little deeper into some reflection on what she talked about. And my dear friend and BK spiritual sister, Debbie, is out there listening somewhere, and she was with you last month. And she just sent me a little note saying, "To the Empress of Self-Sustenance." So I'm just going to wear my little crown as the Empress of Self-Sustenance because I was in Halifax here for quite a long time without others. And so self-sustaining has really been, I think, for many of us in the foreign lands, has been something we've learned how to do. And so I have a few reflections for you today on this. And if we can begin, I know we had a little bit of silence to begin, but I'm going to ask you a question before I delve into anything that Denise Ben said. And this question, really simple to kind of get us started. Let's see if I can get my little PowerPoint up here now. This very simple before we get started is, you also listened to Denise last week, as did I. So I'm going to ask you just to consider for a moment, after listening to her, what does self-sustenance, or what does sustaining the self mean to you? So just take a moment and reflect on that, either what you heard from Denise last week or just from your own experience. What does sustaining the self actually mean to you? And then I'll invite you to put that in the chat box, please. So we begin by activating our intellects in the direction of today's reflection. Um, so into the chat box, if you would, what does it mean to you? Keeping stock of virtues and powers for maximum, to the maximum possible, says Raina in a message to me directly. See if we can give to everyone in the meeting. So keeping the stock of virtues and powers to the maximum possible. That's beautiful, actually. So keeping yourself full. Great. Manoj, by nurturing, taking care, and caressing oneself. Oh, with the power of thoughts. That's beautiful. Caressing oneself with the power of thoughts. It's like you're in a bath of pure thoughts all the time. It's lovely, Manoj. Thank you. For others, what does it mean to sustain yourself? I mean, ever so simply to keep yourself going, of course. There've got to be grades of that. I'm surviving, I suppose, would be sustaining, but I think thriving would be what we're aiming for, as we do with our house plants. We would prefer they thrive. Let's see, we've got here taking care of my spiritual growing. Lovely. That's nice. Um, Somebody else has written here. To me, it means staying soul conscious and connected to God. It's feeding my mind with peace, my heart with love, and my life with purity. When I remember who I truly am, a soul, I feel strong, stable, and free no matter what happens outside. Lovely. Another one, keeping my thoughts aligned with elevated thoughts. That's nice too. So some of these are coming into the private chat box, so I'm just reading them out loud. Anyone else? What does it mean to sustain yourself? So we'll wait another minute or so for those who are typing. Nurturing my inner world with pure thoughts. Thank you. Lovely. All right. And if there's one more, so those, I mean, we're all really saying the same thing in a way, aren't we? Some of us very poetically, some of us, very practically, but basically it's keeping the soul nourished, alive, light, bright, happy, content, all these things. And we know, so I'm going to take up three aspects of what, oh, there's another one in there. Starting the day with them early, churning, learning, and practicing. Thank you. Good one. Okay. So I'm going to start. I would like to explore, just to remind you that in this reflection bit, what we do is we're looking at the art. So the awareness of the art itself, the realization, so what actually sticks, and then a practice taking it with me. So now we have Hilal offering, not holding on anything but me, the consciousness of being a soul. Beautiful. And someone else just wrote, free from bondages. Okay, being soul conscious. So they're coming in. So we'll start with a little bit of an awareness. So I'd like to take up three things that Denise talked about last week. One of them was the support that I am drawing from around me. One, because she gave a lot of emphasis to no matter how big your community, no matter how many friends and supports, whether you have a great local center and you feel very sustained there, or you have a group of good friends or family or whatever, ultimately, we all have to support ourselves. So we're going to look at the ecosystem of support. The other thing she spoke about that I'd like to dig a little deeper into is this daily timetable of sustenance. So she spoke about kind of a discipline or the practice, setting yourself up with a kind of a container of daily practices that help sustain you. So it doesn't just happen like that. We actually have to set things up. But she emphasized to discover what works for you. So I'd like to explore that today. And the other thing she talked about that I'd like to explore a little bit is blessings from others, the waves that uplift. And this was actually, she talked about it as trusting your karma. So those are the three things I'd like to explore in a little more detail today through reflection. So let's start with this first one. My ecosystem of support. You're going to need a pen and a paper for this, which always in these reflective sessions. And I'm going to invite you to draw, basically to draw your ecosystem of support. And we're going to start with you at the center, the being. So just at the very center of your page, I'm going to do it in a very, as if my page is this big, I'm just going to, it's a small circle at the center. If you can just draw a small circle or a star at the center, but that will be you, representing you, the being, the soul. If you can just draw a little star or circle at the center of your page, and then around it, I'll invite you to draw a bunch of other circles. Okay, so a bunch of circles around you at the center, because this is your ecosystem of support. And you don't have to do a whole bunch of circles, just start with a few. And then I'm going to ask you in each circle to put a person's name or a group that makes up part of your ecosystem, the ecosystem of support in your life. So I might put my parents in there. They live a very big distance from me, but I would include them as ones who love me and therefore support me. I could do a bubble for each of the special friends I have, or I could put them all in one bubble. But I have special friends who, from the beginning of my BK journey, have stayed my friends even though they didn't become BKs. And they're important for me because it means I always know what's going on in their world, and they love to hear what's going on in mine. So special friendships I'm going to put there. I have, inside the BK world, special friends, and I might put them in separate circles or just in one. I would put my local center. So you go ahead and make yours, but each bubble is something that you would consider a support, part of your ecosystem of your life, all of the significant people, groups that are in your life presently. Okay, so draw your own ecosystem right now. Hopefully, God is in one of your little bubbles. Just in case you forgot. I know I got all the people in my little circles, and then I went, oh, it's God. So God gets his own circle for me. Okay, so everyone filled all their circles? Yep. Okay, and we may have two circles, we may have five, we may have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8. You may have 10, you may have many, you may have few, but this is just mapping your ecosystem. Great. Okay. So now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to draw lines between the little groups and between the bubbles of those who are connected to you. So probably every one of them will go a line towards you at the center. So it'll look like a spokes of a wheel, but also those who are connected to each other. So those who know each other. So, they're all connected to me. So they'll go like that. But also to those who know each other. So, my special friends know all my people here at the center, for instance. My two kids know all the people here at the center, but my parents don't, say, or whatever. So just draw all the lines and see what emerges as a picture for you. Okay, have you got all your lines connected now? Yeah, all right. So now I mean, mine looks a bit, like it's got a lot of crisscrossing lines going back and forth. I don't know what yours looks like, but I'd like you just to take a minute now. I mean, and you can show if you'd like. Anyone's on camera, you can certainly hold up and we can see what you've got there if it's not too. Oh my, so I've got mine. Yeah. Oh, Gloria, look at that. Wow, that's cool. Lots of crisscrossing lines there. Yeah. Go ahead, anyone else, if you would like to show your lots or little, doesn't really matter. It's more just that you can see. Very nice, Mary. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So, oh, look at that. Who's that? Somebody else is showing. Ingrid showing. Oh, yeah, look at that. Ingrid, nice to see you. Ah, nice. Oh, wow, look at that. Lovely. All right. So now I'd like you to look down at what you've done, and I just invite you to just notice, what do you see? What do you see when you look down at the ecosystem that supports you in your life? What do you see, and what does it mean to you? So what impression does it give you? And what does it mean to you? What do you see? What does it mean to you? So to manage by a really interconnected web. Yeah, that's my feeling when I look at mine as well. A very interconnected web. And I was actually a bit surprised to see that people that I see independently of others, they actually have all met. I thought, oh, that's quite nice. They've all met each other and they all know each other because they're special to me, but they're maybe not as special to each other, but they do know the different parts of my life. They know each other, which is nice. Yeah. For other people, what do you see? And what does it mean? So now, Manoj Bhai and others, what does it mean to you that what you see is an interconnected web? What does it mean to you? That souls are connected to each other by karmic accounts. Yeah, so you and others are part of a bit of a clan that's traveled through time together, right? So you have pre-existing connections. You've known each other before, and or certain beautiful lessons can only be learned with these beautiful ones. Yeah. So it's part of your customized training program in this book. Yeah. Having some separate lines, but all towards knowing or not knowing. Lovely means perfect. That's lovely. It means healthy perception. Lovely. More difficult karmic bonds and broader, lighter connections, which seem larger. Nice, Dee. Okay. Sweet and sour interactions. Yes. As I said, customized training program for you. Personalized, customized. Yeah, lovely. Okay. Anyone else? What sense do you make of what you see? So there's what you see. Surrounding support and a strong foundation of support. Lovely. Yeah, that's what I see in mine as well. I actually feel quite supported, which I don't know that that would be a feeling I have on a daily basis, but looking at it this way, I go, gosh, I feel quite supported. I'm quite surrounded by people who care about me, even though I don't see them physically every day. You know, they're there. A small yet strong circle, says Anumit. Very nice. And Reina, the only permanent constant support is God. Yes, we know that. We know that. And we may have experienced that, right? Yeah. So, two of the things that stood out for me from what Denise was speaking about last week was, well, one of them, it takes a village to raise a child, they say in Africa, but it takes a village to raise a soul, to carry a soul on their journey through time, right? It takes a village. So, we all have our own little villages, right? Our ecosystem of support. So, just a beautiful feeling of gratitude to my village. So if you could take a moment and just look down at your little village, your little ecosystem, just give them love, just give them gratitude. How grateful am I that these souls, for the tough lessons and for the beautiful lessons that I learn on this life. Thank you for the good company. Nice. And Maninder's saying some connections are strong, some lines I wanted to make fade. Reinforces the notion that is connection is our soul's natural characters. Yes, the connection is our soul's natural character. No matter the nature of the connection at this point, strong, weak, sweet, sour, connections inherent in us, right? So when we talk about being a self-sustainer, we're not talking about getting rid of our village at all, right? What are we talking about? We're talking about giving to our village and reducing our reliance on them for support, correct? It doesn't happen overnight that we immediately switch it all to God and we take everything from God only. Of course not. We're still living in a world of relationships. So let me be very grateful to these souls who make up my village, my ecosystem, but also let me look at, I loved what she said last week. We are either aspiring to solitude or we're distressed by loneliness. Do you remember when she said that? I found that really quite a poignant. So, and I had to look at myself. Am I aspiring to solitude? Loneliness is not really something I experience yet. Um, but am I aspiring to solitude or am I distressed by loneliness? This will make a difference to how I interact inside my ecosystem. If I'm distressed by loneliness, I will hang on tight to these supports. If I'm aspiring to solitude, then I will happily be with all these people, all these souls, but without needing to take anything from them, right? So the question to us now is, what helps me develop solitude and self-reliance inside my ecosystem of support? So when you look at that, maybe look at where do you feel you need to develop a little bit more self-reliance or self-sustaining in your current network of relationships, and maybe circle that line or highlight that line in some way. So where do you need to develop a little more self-reliance self-sustenance, and what would help you? What helps you develop this? You might put a check mark on any of the bubbles that you feel actually, yeah, I'm doing okay here. I can be in solitude with these people, enjoy their company, but I'm not taking from them. I'm not needing from them. There may be a little check mark in each of those boxes. So to be a self-sustainer, to be sustaining yourself, we have to manage all these relationships. And we have to be on the journey of reducing our reliance on others and increasing our self reliance. And of course, the next slide is going to be our God reliance, but we'll start with self first. So, where am I doing okay? Like, which of these connections, check mark, am I feeling like it's good? The balance is good. I'm able to be with them. I'm able to bring good energy into the relationship. But I'm not relying or expecting anything from them for my sustenance. Those are the ones that get a check mark. Okay, so yeah, it should see some check marks on those little bubbles of yours. And then which ones do you feel maybe you're still taking from for your support? And therefore, you'd want to become a little more self reliant. You'd want to be developing a little more self reliance in that relationship. So, stepping back from taking. Okay. It's okay to receive love, but just don't be depending on it for your sense of well being. And I think we know the difference. Receiving love, no problem. Love and blessings, it flows between us all the time. But am I depending on that for my state of well being? Then I know I'm in danger of being destabilized if something changes in that area. And Sister Denise spoke quite a bit about that last week. So just do your own self check and maybe circle. I circled two little bubbles that I feel I am still taking a little bit from. And I'm going to reduce um, that and increase my self reliance. So now the question is, what helps me? What helps you increase? So think specifically about those bubbles you've just circled. And then what helps you develop solitude, increase your self reliance? And Manoj Bhai has offered something very nice. Faith and contentment with self satisfaction are the key. Yes, so you're happy with yourself. You're happy with what you're doing. You're doing your own self checking. So you don't need to look elsewhere for the validation. You're getting it from your own self checking and from God. Very nice. And that's a key for self reliance. And Maninder's put ask, for example, sure, yes, you can ask, for example, of when I expect or need someone for self. So, for instance, let's say someone gives you a lot of love. And then, that was my little circle. Someone in my life is very, very appreciative of me, very loving of me. And that's very pleasant. It's very nice. I don't, for one of them, I don't feel that I depend on that. That's fine. If they do, they do. If they're in a bad mood and they don't, that's fine. No problem. I feel quite detached from that. But there's another one where if they are in a bad mood, it does kind of affect me that they're being less loving with me. And that's how I know, oh, I guess I was kind of relying on that. My little ecosystem feels stable when that person's being nice to me. And there's a little dip, a tiny dip when they're not. Ah, don't want that happening. So that's why I circled that one. That would be my example. Yeah, thanks, Maninder. I hope that helped. Yep, great. All right. And so now we're getting examples of what helps you develop self-reliance. And Seenam saying, win over the mind, free the self from depending on others. Great. Very good. Okay, anyone else on this? So let's just take a moment of silence for you to reflect, because there are some bubbles wherever you gave yourself a check mark, then you know how to do this, develop self-reliance. So what helps you develop solitude and self-reliance, which is self-sustenance, actually? Take a moment. Now, somebody has written privately in the chat box that they are very self-reliant to a high extent, but sometimes feel they could be a little bit more serviceable, more useful to the network of relationships. And some would say that this person maybe might be a little emotionally distant. So then you've gone too far. That's not solitude, that's isolation. And you can be physically with people a lot, but be emotionally isolated or mentally isolated. That's different, right? So, yes, very, very self reliant, but closing others out. So you're not building a network then. Okay, and someone else has written, solitude and self-reliance grow when I remember a soul and I connect with God in silence. This gives me inner strength and peace that doesn't depend on others. Yeah, very nice. So we know our meditation, we know going into solitude, taking time alone. Very good. All right. I'm going to ask you the next question then, because this, of course, is the key to everything. How are you sustaining your connection with the divine? Because the only way we can really step away from relying on others to feed us, to validate us, to affirm us, to help us, to sustain us, make us feel good, help us flourish and nourish. The only way we can do that is if we are drawing that nourishment from the divine, from God. So, how are you sustaining your connection with the divine so that you can be a self sustainer? So, just close your eyes for a moment. And we're going to do a little meditation right now. So just close your eyes for a moment if you can. We can do another one at the end, but I'd like to do one right now so we can just be close to the divine right now. And I'm not sure if all of you online are regular BK students or not, so I'll speak in a non-BK language for this. So if you can close your eyes just for a moment, I would like you to consider, just be aware of yourself sitting in this chair. Just be aware of your body and be aware of your breath. I'd like you to be aware of yourself as the thinking being behind the eyes. Now let's just imagine a tiny star above you. This tiny star is far, far away in the distance. It's so far away it cannot be seen with these physical eyes. But in its distant location, it shines like 1,000 suns, even though it's just a tiny, sparkling point of powerful energy. But this is a living being. A living being whose light is so luminescent and so powerful that it can be felt from a great distance. So imagine this light extending its rays outwards all the way to where you are sitting. See if you can visualize a ray of light coming directly down to you. But because this ray is spiritual, you can't see it with your physical eyes, but it is felt by the soul. So behind the eyes, you feel this light touching the soul. Right here, right now. And feel the wash of pure energy enter your mind, filling it with light and lightness. It's like you can breathe it in to your being, and it makes you feel light. Just for a moment, absorb this pure energy deep inside yourself and let it flow through you. Let it flow down into your body and let it reach every cell of your body, every part of your body. And just feel the body being nourished by this pure energy. And you experience it as being nourished with peace, with love, and with power. Your entire body is filled with this energy. Your mind is light. And now imagine this light encircling you, surrounding your body like a bubble of light. And you, the soul, and your body are being sustained, nourished, protected, and empowered. Take a deep breath in and open your eyes. So we know that the best way to sustain the self is to experience the energy from God. And suddenly everything else seems a little less significant, less important, less necessary. I don't need that thing I was just thinking about. I don't need to go to the fridge. I don't need actually anything. I just feel very, very full and satisfied. And this is ultimately what self-sustenance is to feel satisfied like that. Like Manoj Bhai was saying at the beginning, it's very satisfying. So you don't need anything. And then in your relationships, of course, you're offering this energy. So this is the number one question for most of us is how do we sustain this connection, is focusing on sustaining. Now somebody's writing something again in the private. Sustaining connections through daily remembrance and silence and keeping your heart clean. Lovely. Feeling God's presence and guidance, power guiding you. Beautiful. And where there's dependency, where we expect to be understood and accepted, this is where we need to surrender to God, to love yourself and to receive love from God. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Yeah. Sometimes somebody's writing in the chat box privately, living with the ecosystem and dependent on them financially and looking to be self-reliant financially. Yes, that's also there. And sometimes karmically, seeing that you are being sustained financially by God through these souls rather than by these souls helps break any sense of dependency or indebtedness, because karmically there's some reason why financially you are being sustained. Yeah. And somebody else is saying, remain the invisible observer in every situation, step back and always help, but also recognize, checking and changing, especially not suppressing. Very nice. All right. So we know that taking from the divine is our ticket to self sustenance. So one of the other things Sister Denise had talked about was this one. She said, you have to build a daily timetable of sustenance. It doesn't just happen. We do things in the day. But she said, you have to actually discover what works for you. And just this week, we heard that time is a treasure. So, using our time. So, this is a question of how much attention do you pay to the surface aspects of your life, the surface aspects of living. So, making meals, going to work, cleaning the house, getting physical exercise, all the things that we do, visit the people that are important, that need our support. How much attention do I pay to those surface aspects, and how much attention am I paying to the deeper aspects of my life? And if it was 100%, what percentage would you give to each of those right now? So just take a moment and think about that for yourself. Daddy Janky used to say, I spend 99% of my time focused internally in solitude. And yet, those of us that were with her knew that she didn't spend a minute of the day alone. Well, maybe the 4.5 hours she slept, she was alone. But even then, there's somebody else was in the room with her. you know? So, ideally, all 100% is deeper aspects whilst doing the surface level things in our life. But the point is, where's your attention? Are you mostly external? So Denise's suggestions that we actually have to discover to be a self-sustainer. We have these suggested daily timetable of spiritual practices that sustain us. And I know for myself, in the 11 or so years that I was mostly alone, um, the thing that sustained me was the regular practices. There would be days when I'd get up and I'd think, I don't know how I'm going to keep going. And it would be, but I have the timetable. I know what I'm doing all day. I know that I'm going to be offering this food. I know that I'm going to do this study in the morning. I know I'm going to meditate. I know it was like it was a gift of a container. But we have to discover what lights you up. And we have to do more of that. Make sure we have time for that. So when you look at what is our regular kind of daily timetable and recommended for most spiritual students, if you're going to sustain the deeper aspects of you, sustain this inner core, you have to be meditating every day. So does meditation light you up? Is it the early morning one that lights you up? Is it the evening one? Is it neither? Is it a meditation or contemplation? For some of us, sitting with, really good spiritual input and contemplating is almost like a meditation, almost. But that might light you up. So, is it this area? Or is it studying? Is it that you love reading and getting new spiritual wisdom every day? Whatever your tradition, does that light you up? You like the points, you like the ideas, you like to churn them and go deeper and make sense. Or does conversation and good company light you up? Having others to discuss, to share experiences, to churn, wisdom, dialogue, debate, philosophize, just share. Or expressing, sharing, helping, giving. We might call it service, but basically it's using what you've learned in a practical way to express it, to share it, to help, to give to others. So, which of those four lights you up? Which of these four lights you up most? The meditation, study, good company and conversation, or the able to express it? share it with others in some way. And as Sister Denise pointed out last week, you actually have to discover for yourself, because otherwise you'll be doing everything rote and you won't actually be getting anything from it. It'll be like a devotional practice. You have to know for yourself what lights you up, and you have to do more of that. Because that's what nourishes the deeper aspect of the self, right? So, like the ocean, it's all noisy at the surface level, but it's very still and deep down. Yeah. So, somebody said, the more I sustain others, the more I feel sustained by God. Yeah. So, for some of us, it's the giving, sharing. And for others, it's really getting lost in the knowledge, right? Somebody else is saying, it's the knowledge for me, it's study, it's wisdom, spiritual knowledge. So these are all coming to me directly, these messages. Um, Anyone else? What sustained you? And again, Sister Denise's encouragement was that you discover for yourself what sustains you. That's really important, that you're not, you might be doing everything. And if you find that it's not sustaining you, then you might like to find more of a balance. You might say, I do this because it's on the schedule and I do it every day, but actually I'm not feeling very sustained by it. So when you look at those four things, the meditation, which is connecting to God, of course, the study, which is also connecting to God, all of them are connecting to God, the service, the good company, the expression of my own virtues in company. We need all of them. If we just do one and we're just meditating, then we won't be sustained in the community, and we won't be in the community. Oh, the chat box is open now. Oh, that's why I was getting them all directly to me. Oh, it's okay, Anubin. I didn't know why I was getting them all. I was delighted
Oh,
to
sorry,
be
I
getting so
realized just
many
now.
wonderful messages from everybody.
We
Oh,
missed.
my day has been delightful. Okay, great. Now it's open. All right. Wonderful.
I
Okay.
can put everyone's chart onto the everyone at the moment. I can do the past ones, but yeah, maybe it's too little bit late. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Next time.
It's okay. I read them all out anyway,
Sure.
so they've all
Yes.
been there. That's good. Okay. Okay, and I see that we're moving close to the end now. Thank you. I was not able to send it. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Anumit, for sending it anyways. It was very nice to see. So just have a minute and think for yourself which one of those needs a little more attention for you so that it actually feels sustaining. And then the last one, and this is what Denise, because I know we need to leave a little space here at the end. The last one, Denise said, talked about trusting your karma. That when you have when you have done anything to uplift the spirit, to uplift others, then you would get the blessings back. And these are like waves of good energy, which sustain you. And I don't know, has anyone had that experience? Because I know I have that experience a lot. And when you're going through a difficult time or you're faced with a test or a challenge, somehow you have within you what's needed to face it. And really, it's often an attitude shift, or an awareness that this is possible. And that comes from God for sure, but it also comes like a wave of good energy that's coming back to you from all the times you have uplifted others. So she was suggesting to trust your karma as a way to sustain. Notice how you are being sustained by your own good karma. And Daddy Janki used to say, it's your own efforts that should be sustaining you. You should be sustained by your own efforts. So your own discipline, your own staying on schedule will also sustain you. So I'm going to ask you two questions to end. That was input reflection. What have you discovered about what's valuable to you for sustaining the self? Just from any of these little reflections we've done just now, what have you discovered is valuable for you to sustain your energy, your well-being, to sustain yourself? And I'm still getting a couple of really good messages coming in. And that giving 100% of a task while remembering God at the surface level, then it becomes interesting. The next task comes at the right time without you having to rely on anything. Very nice. It's like magic. Very nice. So, what have you discovered is valuable to sustain yourself? Anything from your reflection so far in this 2 weeks of this month that we're looking at the art of self-sustenance, so self-realization, someone says, discovered that whatever happens, happens for a reason, usually a good reason. Lovely. All right, and the last one, take it with you. So using your own discernment, what is something you can start doing to sustain yourself, to sustain your own health and well-being now? So this will be something you take up for the next week before you come back for your workshop, but it might continue for the rest of your life. And for me, it's a mixture of all, yes, for me also. And I find from time to time I'm out of balance. I'm a little bit more one way, and then I have to give a little more attention to another of the everything, of the mix of all of them. So it's always good to just check and rebalance. And usually you know that you're out of balance with your timetable when you're beginning to take from humans again. So when you find yourself being a little bit irritated or frustrated that you didn't get what what you needed in that moment, practicing affirmation helps a lot, says somebody. Wonderful. Experience, says Lara in Brazil. Wonderful. And Manoj by a mixture of all. Okay. All right. I think I'm supposed to end here. So I'm going to end here. I think that's it. Yeah. Sorry, I might have gone a little bit over time there with that meditation in the middle, but
No, it was perfect. There are no questions. There are only answers in the chat box. So I don't think we have any questions. So that's perfect.
good.
So if someone wants to unmute and ask, you have a couple of minutes. Otherwise, we'll go in the meditation mode. And before that, announcements. Yeah. Okay, there's a question which Maninder is asking. I'll just take it up since it just came right now. If one has a habit of showing up inconsistently in their social connections, is it a helpful thing in self-sustenance? If not, any strategies to fix this habit? Habit of showing
Mean,
inconsistency.
meaning you as the person show up inconsistently so you're not often with your social people? And then is that helpful? Yes. So not seeing people very often. Is that a helpful way to not get dependent on them? Definitely, you wouldn't get dependent on them if you're not seeing them very much. But if there are, if you need to be serving more, you need to be there and sharing more good energy with them, they may become dissatisfied with you. And then they'll be pulling you. So their dependency on you, not dependency, but their wish to have more of you might be unfulfilled, and then they'll be unhappy with you, in which case that will pull you. And you don't want that either, right? So it's finding the right balance. I hope that helps, Maninder. Because I mean, inconsistent, it depends on why you're inconsistent. If you're busy, I mean, we have to take care of our relationships, right? We have to make sure that not so much that everyone's happy with me, but certainly that they're not unhappy with me. And if they are, and it's a karmic account, okay, then I have to work on my attitude, only good wishes, that I'm not unhappy with me or unhappy with them. But yeah, we have to take care of our relationships. We don't just want to pull out. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So I think over to Sister Anu for the announcements and thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have Sister Claudia. She would give the vote of thanks. Let's invite her before announcement. Thank you.
Shanti, it was very nice to hear from you, Judy. And then check our little bubbles. who we have our little bubbles, right? And that's important is to be able to self-sustain ourselves and do not depend on the other ones on the bubble. So we are the bubble, but not needed them. So that's a quite good way to be. Thank you so much for you to show us very clearly how to self-sustain ourselves. Thank you.
Oh, she went, we
Oh.
lost you, Claudia.
Oh, okay. I don't know how much you hear me.
Oh, we lost her. I
So
can't
I
hear
just,
Claudia. Maybe it's me.
I was
No,
just
no, we
like,
are able to hear you. Yeah, it's
Maybe
fine.
we lost Judy's sister. Judy's sister, can you hear us? Hmm. So I think it is Sister Judy. At the beginning, also it happened before the session started. Maybe it is that. We can kind of look at it.
I think it was a very nice talk from Judy, and we all enjoy.
So Claudia looks muted on my screen. Now she's not.
Judy was,
No, right. She was muted, but for some reason we could hear her. I don't know. That's magic.
It's Sister Judy is not
Thank you,
able to hear.
Claudia. I appreciate your good wishes. I know they're coming. I can feel them from your mind. So that's all that matters. Yeah. Yeah.
So Sister Judy, can you hear us? Hear me? Om Shanti. Hello.
I
No.
cannot hear anybody. So
Yeah, it's from her
I
end.
think maybe it's just smile and give drishti and do a lovely
Yeah,
goodbye meditation. Is that what it is?
you can still do the
Okay.
meditation.
in the chat. There's something on the chat box.
Announcement.
Oh, I can still do the meditation. Okay, thank you for typing to me. Okay. All right.
After the announcement, though, quickly. So yes, everyone will have workshop next week, Saturday.
Am I
same
meant to do the
time.
meditation now? Or we're
And
doing announcements?
so quickly, guys, all of us can join, go deeper into it, and really find that methods through exercises. So join us then. And we'll also have the silence retreat followingly after 2 weeks, 28th of June, 1.5 hours, same time. So everyone is welcome, whether you are following Brahma Kumari's teachings or not. So to internalize whatever we learned from today and the last session and the workshop. So everybody's welcome to join. This is our calendar. We'll share with you all. And also the July 1 will be created soon. You can write to us, valuesforlifeseries@gmail.com. If you want to receive our emails with the upcoming program info and other information, please send your email ID right to us at valuesforlifeseries@gmail.com or vancouver@ca.brahmakumaris.org, and check us out on our websites, vyasa.in and vancouver.brahmakumaris.ca. Thank you, everyone. And we can hand it over to Sister Judy. We'll ask her to unmute.
I still can't hear anything, and I don't know why, but
All
that's
is good.
okay.
Drama is wonderful. You are still
I don't
sustaining
know.
us. Thank you.
Anyways, so wonderful to be with you. So let's just have a moment, shall we, of meditation and being aware that the one you are sustaining, the self in question, is that beautiful being behind the forehead, the soul. And that the one who is sustaining you is God, the Supreme Soul, that beautiful, loving being who I love so much and who loves me. And that link of love is what sustains me and carries me through the world, through my day, into all my relationships. And that link of love is what helps me sustain myself so that I sit up tall inside myself as a self-master with no dependencies, but lots of beautiful relationships. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Judy. We can take a photo. Everybody can open your camera. Let's still take our photo. Smile. Smile. Okay, everyone who likes to be on the session photo with Sister Judy, please open your camera with that self-sustained, healed, beautiful smile. Everyone?
Sister Judy's left because obviously she can't hear, so that's okay.
That's okay. Well, we still have her photo from back, so we'll add it to this Photoshop. So thank you, everyone, for being here. So beautiful to be here together, and see you next week. Keep shining. Bye, everyone.